Pagi datang, matahari berseri, corporate hari ini semangat berdiri. ALIF ZAKWAN dah siap dengan gaya, ELIA senyum, auranya memaya. Rauhah melangkah, confident luar biasa. ZALIA pelan ke depan, langkahnya sentiasa. Langkahnya sentiasa. Corporate hari ini kita bersatu, ajak ketawa, suasana berseru. Hari penuh warna, kerja jadi gempa, nama-nama kita terpahat takkan pernah.
Good morning and welcome to Corporate Hari Ini. I'm your host today, ELIA, and with me is
I am Nur Akila Rauhah. So for today, we would like to discuss such an interesting topic.
Yes,
Which is conflict management, specifically happen in workplace. So basically, we would like to discuss why men tends to avoid the conflict or keep on silent rather than get engaged with the conflict. So before we begin, let me explain briefly what is actually conflict and also what is actually conflict management. Okay, so basically conflict is when there is some disagreement between two or more people in an organization. Because we cannot expect that everyone seems to agree with us. For example, maybe you want to eat KFC, but I want to eat other than that. So disagreement always happen, especially in workplace, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And also conflict management is a process of handling the disagreement in which we solve that in problem solving skills or communication and others.
I see. Guys, before we hear from our expert, let us watch some of the scenario that portraying conflict management and our topic for today's discussions.
Okay guys, we've reached the end of our meeting today. So is there anything you want to add or you want to say? Yes, Zalia.
I have something to confess.
Oh really?
Yes, throughout this project, I think there is part that not assigned to me, but I did it. I believe that part was assigned to him, but he didn't do it.
Okay, I don't think we need to have a discussion about that because it will just create unnecessary tension for our teams.
Why? That's unfair for me. I did it your part.
Yes, I know that, but the project has already been done.
But that's your responsibility. You need to be punished for that. Leader, what you say?
Whatever.
Okay guys, relax. Okay, I see both points from you. But instead of we just ignoring the conflict, we need to face it. Because we don't want anything worse to happen in the future. And you might repeat that kinds of mistake, okay?
I think I will leave this discussion.
How about me? Hey,
Did you see that, Ilya?
Yeah, I could see this clearly now.
Okay, so if we want to go a little bit deeper, so let's us invite our guests for today. So firstly, we have Dr. Zalia, Dr. Alif, and also our expert, Prof. Echa.
Welcome.
Welcome Prof and Doctor to Corporate Hari Ini. Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you for joining us today to Corporate Hari Ini.
How are you guys today? Are you doing well?
Yeah.
So we will start our first question to Dr. Zalia. So can you explain the first reason why men withdraw from a conflict, especially in a workplace setting?
alright, so thanks to the host for the question. That's a good question actually. So based on my research, I found the reason why men most likely to withdraw from the conflict situation rather than women is that is because men find that difficult to handle the conflict situation, especially in workplace setting. So generally we know that men are having a big ego, right? Which is they tend to stay cool or look tough even though they are in a worse situation. So basically here I want to point out the maybe a scientific fact, which is the masculinity which is the main trait of men. So basically in the conflict situation, the sense of masculinity of men is fragile, which is the ego is the situation is triggered their ego, so they may stay silent rather than enhance in the argument. However, the withdrawal, the avoidance of men in terms of fear or embarrassment or concern of their image. However, the masculinity here is also found in the women as well, which is there are some women who are having a big ego like a man as well. So basically here I could conclude that rather than say that men find it's difficult to handle the conflict situation, I could say that there are no difference or there are no sex based difference in handling the conflict situation. So I hope that's answer your question.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Zalia, for your response.
But it seems like Dr. Alip disagree with the Zalia said just now.
Yeah, seem like that. Seem like that.
Thank you for the sharing, Dr. Zalia. So for the next question, I would like to ask Prof. Echa. So can you explain how is the differences of men interpret between support and also conversations? Is it because of the culture why they tend to like avoid the conflict or anything else?
Thank you for such an amazing question. So, in answering that, basically in general, men and women have different conflict management styles. So there are essentially 5 types of conflict management styles. First, competing, next, accommodating, avoiding, collaborating, and also compromising. So basically, women are more likely to use cooperative conflict management styles, such as collaborating, compromising, or avoiding, while men are more likely to use competing or avoiding strategies in situations of conflict. In many cultures, men are taught to remain strong or silent rather than openly express emotions, which can lead to avoidance or withdrawal in conflict situations. So, culturally, men may also feel being perceived as weak if they are engaged too much in emotional confrontation. So, withdrawal become the safer way for them. So research also shows that culture and family upbringing shape men to value self-control, making withdrawal a learned response. So basically, men are encouraged to adopt the male ideals of toughness, strength, bravery, and also aggression. That's all from me.
Okay. Thank you, Professor Aisha. Now, moving on to our very last question. This question will go to Dr. Alif. So, Dr. Alif, do you think that withdrawal serve as a strategic response in a workplace conflicts? And is that why men tends to avoid conflict?
Okay, that's a great question. So for now, I will keep as simple as possible to answer this question. So a lot of people thinks that man withdraw from a conflict, it means that he is afraid or he is such a irresponsible person. But for me, it is quite opposite. So because withdrawal is actually can be used as to show power to their company or their workers. So for example, when a man walk away from a conflict, he tend to show some signal like I'm the one who control this conversation and I decide to continue this conversation or end it. So especially for the in the company which is male leaders, and in my opinion, silence is not just a weakness, it is a powerful expression of dominance. So that's all for me. Thank you.
The answer seems different than others
Because I think it's for men.
from men's point of view, so it's quite a little bit different. Seems like all of them have different perspective. So Elia, what do you think the strongest reason why men tends to avoid such conflict after hearing all the answers?
Okay. So in discussing why men often avoid conflicts than a woman, I believe the strongest reason lies on cultural expectations.
Oh, I thought you will agree with the first opinion.
And I think the most possible reason is the cultural expectation because when we talk about conflict, it often involves in communication styles between different gender based. Because female, when they communicate, they tend to involve emotions or feelings in their interactions. But male, they often avoid emotions or feeling involved in it, because when things get emotions, men tend to step back, not because they do not know how to handle it, but because they have been taught by the society to suppress their emotions from feeling more vulnerable feelings. So I have read these interesting books titled Men Are From Mars and Women Are From Venus, where they describe how men retreat themselves into a cave to think of solutions, and they often ignore small matters or small problems, and or the things that they don't see as something that is urgent. Yeah. And as Professor Aisyah just mentioned, research also shows that culture, family, and upbringing shape men to value self-control. So making them that withdrawal as a learned response from men when they facing conflict. So when we talk about cultural influence, this also explains the other two reasons that we are discussing, which is the difficulty in handling the situations, and also they see withdrawal as seen as a power. So in reality, withdrawal is actually less about weakness or dominance, but it is more about how the way men are socialized. So therefore, I think culture stands as the root cause of why men often avoid conflict. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
I really recommended the book that I mentioned just now.
Okay, inshallah I will try to read it. Okay, not a book, a reader. Okay, thank you Elia for your opinion. Okay, so that's all for our program today. So, bye.
See you next time on Koprat Hari Ini.
Yeah, lekanya sentiasa Korporat hari ini kita bersatu, ajak ketawa, suasana berseru. Hari penuh warna, kerja jadi gempak, nama-nama kita terpahat, takkan pernah lepas. Korporat hari ini kita bersatu, ajak ketawa, suasana berseru. Hari penuh warna, kerja jadi gempak, nama-nama kita